and see. Hopefully this works. Guys, just to keep things rolling so I like can make sure that I see everything, could you like just like interact a little bit on the bottom, like, hey, I'm here, hey, I still hear you, your hair looks great even though it's long. Anything, because I just started it before and yeah, it just like wasn't working so hot. So I deleted and started again. So it seems like people are rolling in. So yeah, please just like say like, hey, I'm here. Just so I like know that this is working. Oh, thank you, Eugenia. I you know me with technology. This like working from home and like working like this is so beyond my wheelhouse. But like here we are. This is a renaissance for new things. Yay, there's so many people coming in. This makes me so happy. Hello from California. It is not particularly sunny out, despite what you might think. So don't be jealous. It's actually like record breaking. It hasn't rained and whatnot this much since I think I read 1973 in Los Angeles. So yeah, it is new for everyone. Let me tell you. Oh, I see so many familiar faces. For the people who are logging in, just like keep interacting for a bit on the bottom just so like I know that y'all are here and hearing this, because I did have some technical difficulties like 2 minutes ago. So yeah, no, this is super, super great. Yay! Oh my gosh, all the way from Russia, you could hear me. That's so exciting. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna like start plunging in. I'll do like my kind of like slow, this is who I am type stuff, and then I'll like get into like the meat and potatoes in a few minutes so people could like start logging in. So, to the people who don't know me, my name is BEA GOODWIN. I started out as an actor, turned stage director, turned librettist. So, I am here wearing lots of different hats and whatnot. And I have to tell you that I would not be able to be the storyteller that I am without a foundation in acting. And that's why we're all here today, to talk about the craft of acting and marrying it to song interpretation, arias. And I see that a few of my friends from university are here. Shout out to Ashley LaSelva that I just saw popping in. This stuff is super applicable to monologues as well, but I'm just catering a bit of my language to the opera singer. Something that I really, really would love to stress to everyone is that I'm going to try to speak like as slowly as I possibly can. However, we are saving this. So if you are scribbling a bit or like kind of like thinking about one particular thing I said, you will be able to go back and take a look at this. We're going to archive it. So please go at your own pace. I also, there's nothing on fire in my room. I just have incense going on. I just, in case you get concerned for my safety, it's just candles and incense. I know this time, every single thing in the entire world is overwhelming. So if you discover that you don't have the, just like the emotional capacity to like, be like, okay, this is not the day that I'm going to like learn everything about my craft. Again, we are archiving all of this. This will be here for you. I'm here for you. Do what's right for you. Cool? So, back to me. So again, my name is BEA GOODWIN. I am a former actor turned director turned librettist, and I'm here to talk about marrying acting to your arias. So In my training, I went to Fairleigh Dickinson University and Roxton College in Oxfordshire, and then shortly after my continued education, I went to Columbia University with their Master's Director program. I was an actor in their class, so I was the guinea pig for everyone studying underneath Anne Bogart. So I really got to hear so many incredible insights in the craft of directing while I was still acting. And that was something that I have to say was absolutely imperative to my development and my career path as well. I stage works as a theater director. I don't stage works as someone with musical knowledge first. It's all about telling the story, honesty in acting, and just pushing the exposition of the story first and foremost, which I have come to understand that a lot of you, it's not at the forefront of your education. Like, acting does not take the front seat all of the time. It's not even in the glove box sometimes. It's back in the trunk. So let me open up that trunk for you and help you out. To be a good director, you really, I think, have had to go through what it's like to be an actor, how to understand how your particular role is a vein pumping into the heartbeat of the story. And because I had that experience on the stage with an ensemble of people, I now, from the other side, can see each and every single person's purpose in the story, how they are moving the story forward. And I'm here to help you with that. I'm here for some hand-holding and saying, like, hey, let's dissect this. And I wouldn't be able to speak that freely if I wasn't on the stage myself. So that's really important. And aside from all of that, as we kind of touched on a teensy bit before, just performer emotional safety, performer physical safety, garments that fit them and feel organic in the rehearsal room. What we are doing is such a gorgeous yet crazy psychological hamster wheel of events, and I want us to be propelling forward together, and doing it as safely as possible. To everyone who's joining in, hi. I'm just going on about my past and who I am. Everything is going to be archived, so if you want to go back and you want to hear anything about how did you get to be here, that's me. So go back. Cool. So I decided that the best way to tackle this is doing this masterclass in 2 parts. Focusing primarily on the art of auditioning and aria dissection. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about, I know you all are doing self-tapes and it's such an awkward transition between physically inhabiting the space with someone and sharing a story to the sterile, what is my frame? How am I telling this story via me at my house and you're at your house? It's all very bizarre, but hey, let's be proactive about it. Let's call a spade a spade. It's weird. And let's go forward. So, prepping a role is vastly different than prepping for an audition. And not enough people say that out loud. An audition is essentially a 5-minute monodrama in which we all watch your skill sets in one narration. You want to throw out any single trick that you got in my 5 minutes with you in a room, okay? A role is a character we track in over the course of about 3 hours. So that's very, very different. How you prepare for something with a longevity of 5 minutes is very, very different through the duration of 3 hours. So we have to prepare a bit differently. I would love for singers and performers to change their philosophy and their psychology about auditioning to the following. 1, I have this great story that I would love to share with the people behind the table. And 2, I am the answer to your problems. We, in casting, we have a problem. We have a show, and we have no singers. So you have an answer for us, okay? If you change your audition psychology to it being a sharing instead of a judgment, and you being an answer instead of a number on a sheet, it's healthier for everyone. It's healthier for the art. It's healthier for us behind the table. It's healthier for you. If you're going about, I'm an answer to a problem, and I am here to share a story, it's so much better for everyone involved, I promise you. I want to love anyone who walks through the door. And you know why? It's not just because I'm a nice person, but I want a snack. I want to go to the bathroom because I drink way too much coffee. Up until recently, like a year and a half ago, I was a smoker and I wanted to build in breaks so I could go out and have a smoke break. We humans behind the table hear hours and hours and hours of singing, and we want to cast this desperately, okay? So we're on your side. We want to see you succeed because we want the show to be great, and we also want a snack, and we want to go to the bathroom. So allow yourself to think about that while you're in the hallway, okay? There's so many things in auditioning that are like completely out of everyone's control. So let's talk first about what is in your control, okay? Your rep choice and your picking material to lead with in the room. I have a few suggestions for you, okay? 1, and they taught us this in acting class. Try your best to research who will be in that room. So if they announce that your stage director is BEA Goodwin, she'll be present for auditions, you may see from Instagram, my website, my Facebook, whatever, that I am currently directing Handel's Orlando and Purcell's Fairy Queen. You might want to avoid singing from those works because there's maybe some subconscious comparisons going on or exhaustion with the piece that you're bringing in. Say you're bringing in a piece and I'm struggling with it in the rehearsal room. I am going to take that mindset, even though I'll try not to, and I'll be like, oh great, this friggin' piece. I don't want to do that. So a thing that could be in your control is, okay, that director is currently doing this. I'm going to step back. I'm going to let her have that experience somewhere else doing it, and I'm going to sing something else. Don't let this thought consume you, like you need to just anally research every single person in the room, but it is something to think about. But this also goes for recent past seasons in the opera company that you are auditioning for. Say they did Callisto and they were absolutely infatuated with the woman who played Callisto. They could be projecting like, well, that's not the way that Emily did it. And again, we try not to, but our body just has these like emotional recalls that sometimes we're not completely cognizant of or in control of. So again, when I was an actor, I would research the season and I would not do a monologue from 5 seasons before my audition because I don't know who's in the director of that could be in the room and they could hate my interpretation of that monologue. They could just be like, I didn't do it that way. I don't see validity in that. You want to just strip all of that from it. So again, these are things that are in your control. Just have a thumb on the pulse of that. 2 is another real biggie for me. Is your song choice that you are leading with appropriate for how you wish to be seen? You are auditioning for the role that you want. It saves everyone time. If you're auditioning for, say, like a seductress, I want to see all that you can do in the room, so I'm not left imagining, well, like, can she, I liked her, but doing a pants roll, but can she play Carmen? Like, I don't want to think, I don't want to be left thinking, like, what if, show me. And how you do that are, okay, I'm going out for the role, who is a seductress. What are each and every movement a seductress have in their body's lexicon that I could ginger through the piece and show off? What is her want? What is her motivation? I want to be able to see all of those things. And in a few minutes, I'll discuss how you go about that, okay? There's so many people that are like, do this, and they don't tell you how. I'll tell you, I promise. Also, is your garment easy to move in the room? Like, I'm not saying come in sweatpants, but can you make in your instrument in the room? And is it also appropriate for what you want to be seen for? Lead with a lean package of materials conducive to the role that you want and you're gunning for. And that shows me that you respect my time as well as understand your craft. It shows a lot about your preparedness, I assure you. My next favorite thing, introductions in the room. Now, Eugenya's probably cracking up right now because she hears me go off about this all the time. I can't tell you enough how important how you introduce yourself in the room is and how you slate yourself. I could usually tell within about 20 seconds of people walking in the door if I like them or not. And it's funny because some people will come in and it's just very organic, like, hey, I'm here, I'm gonna tell my story, and then I'll see you. And other people act as if they are a used car salesman that are about to sell me a Honda with like a rearview mirror that's duct taped on. And I'm just like, they just like come in, hey, how are you? I'm this. And it's like this just crazy burst of energy and artifice that I'm like, ooh, I don't see how I could get raw, malleable emotions out of you if you're treating me like Jim Carrey right now. Like, I just, not my bag. And I've been in rooms where a part of the criteria on the audition sheet was, I shit you not, would I want to be in a small room with you for a long period of time? That is something that you are in control of, my friend, and that has nothing to do with your artistry. So be a human. Just be natural, okay? Honesty. Have clean sheet music. Your book is a physical embodiment of how an actor prepares. I've thought certain people and singers have had potential and like just something that was there that I would really like to work with, and I'll voice that opinion out loud after they leave the room, and sometimes the accompanist will say, yeah, but their book is a shit show. And you know what? Something that people don't really know about, that accompanist sometimes has more say in casting than I, the stage director, do. Because they give insights on how well you follow one another back and forth, and if you completely missed things and they were struggling, or if they completely couldn't read your cuts. They tell us right after you leave. So again, that is something in your control that you could nail going in there. So make sure it's clean. We have enough time, so make sure your book is clean, okay? Okay, so this is the next part of my little segment. Okay, you with me? How you prepare for the arias you are presenting. So this is the potentially scary out of your control zone. But when you learn the formula, it will be in your control and it will start to be muscle memory. That is what we want. We want to get these arias to the point where you could just put it in cruise control. You open your mouth and you just exist in the role. But let's dissect it. Let's talk about how you achieve that. This is what I want to see, okay? 1, get your hand off the piano. There are so many people that come in, I will be singing a song from yada yada da. Put their hands down and look up from the piano. Oh, leave the piano. Just for God's sake, leave the piano, okay? 1. 2, your pre-circumstance in the opening music and how you connect with it. Okay, so what does that mean? In musical theater, there's something called air, and we call that air in the opening orchestration where there's just music, or in times during the song where just music is playing and I'm not singing anything. And we have to figure out why those moments and pauses are there and how to justify them, just as an actor would, okay? And that begins the whole entire intro. You need to know how to fill that with an emotional, organic response, okay? Now, here lies a problem. Can you guys hear me? Sorry, I paused for a second. Eugenia, can you just write down there if you hear me? Yes, we're good? Okay, I see little hearts. Thank you, guys. So we have the air. Great, okay. This is where a potential problem can lie, okay? A lot of people use this as what we lovingly call schmacting or mugging. I've heard a lot of people refer to it in opera, where it's like they have a sad scene coming up and there's all of this music and they'll go, and then start singing, and it's like, whoa, what did that mean? All of that. There's a remedy to that. There is medicine for that, okay? I promise you. It is specificity, okay? A pre-circumstance is what is happening the second before your aria begins. So we typically craft this circumstance based off of the first lines in the aria because that is you responding to the circumstance that is happening in the aria, okay? So here's an example. Say you are doing Lucretia's Give Him This Orchid. Your pre-circumstance is how your flesh feels after being violated and wondering how to tell these women, one significantly older that you respect and one significantly younger who you don't want to taint and ruin, that you are ruined and don't send for my husband because I don't fucking deserve him right now. That's specific. That is female guilt and rage that happens when you've been violated, and those are specific things that you are thinking of while those beginning chords are rolling. So we turn all of those things into something that we call charged phrases. You're not going to, those little 6 bits of music, bars of music, you are not going to say to yourself, my flesh is violated, my flesh is violated, these ladies need to know that my body is impure, my husband needs to know. You can't think of all of that. You will drive yourself crazy. Your technique will go out the window. So simplify all of those lines of feelings into a tiny little phrase that you could almost take like a pill and launch right into your speech, okay? So with everything that I had just come up with, what I would say is I was fucked and my body is forever a stranger here. And go into the aria. Now, how much more specific going from to I am someone who feels in my breasts where I've been touched and in my hips where I have been touched, and I was fucked and ruined and my husband would never want to touch me again. That's specific. That is visceral things that you could hang on to. So my challenge to you is, when you are dissecting your speeches, please tap into what happened right before you are singing. Create almost a few sentences about it, and then condense it into a tiny little pill that you could take, okay? Even think of it like it's all about talking to yourself. You think like, okay, I'm taking this pill now, and then here I am, I'm present, I am this person. And I just want you to remember that being a character is being yourself in a different circumstance. That is how you achieve honesty in the room, okay? So when you are doing these things and when you are feeling these raw, organic things, you're feeling them as you. And that's how you can control your performance and reproduce that performance over and over and over again. Cool? Number 3. Who are you singing to in the aria? Now, this is a 2-parter, okay? So hang on with me. 1, the obvious. Who are you singing to in the opera/aria? And how do you talk to that person normally? Even outside the circumstance, okay? So how you talk to your mother is different than how you talk to your lover, different than you talk to your coach, different than you talk to your pillow when you're screaming into it at night, okay? Do you talk to this person normally leading with compassion? Do you talk to this person usually just out of annoyance? You have to know how normally you talk to this person and how this particular circumstance is different. Okay? I'm saying these things because all of this manifests in your body engagement, okay? So if I talk to my mom and it's more of like just a comforting, good old conversation, I'm relaxed and I'm explaining something. If I'm on the defense, I'm rigid in here and I'm showing you that I'm uncomfortable. If I'm trying to get something that I want, I might be like a little bit more loosey-goosey in the hips and in the shoulder blades, and how I touch and how I move is very different. Okay? Those things are very important because I can't stress enough, we can't see the inside of your head. Like if you are thinking of channeling all of these things, unless I see it in your body, I'm not going to know that anything is going on up here. So think of how you speak to mom and what your body looks like. How you speak to someone that maybe you just slept with that you don't know. What does that feel like? Someone that you're comfortable with, that you love. How is that in your body normally, okay? It's very informative to us that we understand that your character has a physical life, okay? And it brings truth into the room. When you're dissecting this particular circumstance, okay, so normally if you talk to your sister out of she's a disaster normally and a pain in the ass, and this aria subtext reminds you of that conversation that you had, you're going to implement something called the substitution method, okay? I am an Uta Hagen student through and through, and I understand that me, BEA GOODWIN, at 30 years old, has a very limited point of life, okay? I don't know what it's like to be a mother. I don't know what it was ever like to really grovel, to really be poor. There are some things that me, in my life as a human being, I don't understand, okay? So we need to use the substitution method to really, really engage in that. And I am I do know that I have that here. I promise you. Yes. So, for instance, if you are doing Queen of the Night, it's Aria, okay? Chances are, you gotta go out on a limb here, that you never pressed a knife into your theoretical child's hand, and been like, yo, go kill for mama. But you can think about someone who has betrayed you in your life, and this is a manifestation of that anger you've felt. Your partner, your government, your parents, that deep sense of betrayal. I mean, watch the Kavanaugh hearings, and if you can't have a full range of emotion of how the government protects its own and the rich and elitist, and how it must feel, what I would do. What would you do if you were in a room alone with Brett Kavanaugh? And I see a lot of my friends on here as a woman, as a gay man, as people who are quiet sometimes by nature. What would you do in that circumstance? Okay? That's called the substitution method. Think about it. When you are doing these arias, who would you sing it to? And how would that affect how you normally sing it? We have spades of time right now. Take your one aria and pick 3 different people to sing it to. It will change your performance each and every time. Cross my heart. Okay? Now we're going to take the aria itself, beat by beat by beat by beat, okay? Whenever the exposition, the mood, or the music shifts, I want you to assign it a number and journal a little bit about it, okay? It doesn't have to be, some passages will be longer than others, some won't. What is your tactic in this narration? Do you want to vex someone? Do you want to challenge someone? Do you want to seduce someone? You need to know what you want and how you're going to get it. I had this very extreme acting teacher named Jen who was kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And she was like, if you don't get what you want, someone's standing in the wing off stage with a gun and they're going to shoot you. Play for your life. Play for your stakes. You got to get what you want. And I'm like, woohoo! Damn girl. But there is some validity for it. You have to play for your life. It's not just you can't be, there's this random passage from the Bible that my one acting teacher, Robert, would say. And he's like, Jesus said in the Bible, be either cold or hot, because if you are lukewarm, I will vomit you from my mouth. And I was like, wow. We acting types are very, very extreme. But again, there is a lot of validity to that. Don't be lukewarm about anything. Be really, really fucking passionate about it and be really to the books about it, or go home. The arts aren't for you if you're kind of lukewarm about anything. This is not the best environment for you. We're all pretty intense, passionate people. And that's why I love this and this community. And that's why we are going to get through this. So journal those beats, okay? Those are my big things to think about in Aria Dissection. I'm just going to go over that one more time, okay? Where it is. Get your hand off the piano. Don't touch it. What is your pre-circumstance? And how are you going to craft that in the room, okay? What happened right before? Is it raining? Did I just wake up? How does my body feel? Who am I talking to? Okay. That substitution method. Who am I talking to? And how can I parallel it with someone in my own personal life that I can understand and give an honest performance? And then taking your aria beat by beat by beat by beat by beat. Okay. These are big things to think about. And that's why I could do more, but those 3 or 4 things alone take years of practice, I assure you, okay? That's why, like, we go to drama school for the same amount of time that you train your voice. We train our emotional life to mirror our physical impulses, our responses, and how to keep our memories safe, honestly. Like, we have had, like, full semesters of just, like, safety, emotional safety. We did an entire semester of an acting exercise called Life in the Room, where you exist in a room doing different activities, and one of which was I had to take off my clothes and get on a scale in front of my entire class. Okay? Like, that's what my education was. Getting to be such a vulnerable storyteller and feeling what that humility feels like and feeling what that extreme vulnerability feels like. That's why I'm such an advocate for everyone's emotional safety and honesty in performance, because I know firsthand what that feels like. Just as you can't learn to sing alone without training and someone to help you outside of an audition room, the same goes for your acting chops as well. It's something that, you know, you could pay so much money to go to all of these coachings. However, when you get in the room and you can't nail the song interpretation, it's kind of gonna be for naught. So at some point, you really, really have to transition to, like, these are the songs that I sing the snot out of. These are my money notes. These are my favorite things. I need to invest in them so they can invest in me. Okay? And we are very fortunate to live in an age where marvelous technologies are at our disposal. So log on in to YouTube and listen to the greats do their thing, and read a book. I listen to interviews constantly from the world's best directors and take notes, like, year round. Like, I think I had a solid 2 weeks on Julie Taymor alone, because there was just an arsenal of materials on, like, interviews she's at, because, I mean, oh my god, she's, like, getting old. So, watch out for Julie Taymor, please. And there are just years and years and years of interviews that I would just obsessively take notes over her, how she approaches interpretation, how she stages, how she does things. You have these tools on YouTube and articles. So please do it. And I wrote, you know, for singers, obviously, like, listen to people who have done the roles that you're gunning for and read all about them, but also listen to, like, stage actors talk about their craft. Like, listen to Ian McKellen. Listen to Meryl Streep. Listen to Viola Davis. The way that they talk about approaching roles is transcendent. And especially, like, Shakespearean actors too, like famous Shakespearean actors, there's just, like, a particular way that they talk, and it's so intimate. You feel like you're in your living room with them and you're learning, like, secrets that some people don't achieve for a very, very long time. Yes, Helen Mirren. Love her. Listen and read scholarly texts. This is my homework assignment for you, okay? Listen and read scholarly texts, books, whatever, articles on the libretti and music of every single show on your rep sheet, okay? Like, when I was recently staging Rape of Lucretia, I got out 16 books from the library about the weird twists and turns of that libretto, and how in the beginning stages, Lucretia wanted what she got, and then they had to change it. That's why it was so cushioned with all the weird Catholicism in there. I learned so much about each and every character and their lineage and how they exist that I never would be able to have spoke so freely about if I didn't read all of that. So, I mean, let's be honest, your rep sheets have like maybe 6 roles solidly on it. That's not a lot of work. And again, I'll say it for the 7th time now. We have a lot of time. And it's great that, you know, so many of these things are so old that you're doing, because there's just so many texts on it. So yeah, go have fun. So speaking of technology, so during this little spiel, I would love for you guys to like ask any questions, because I have about like 15 minutes left and I would love to address things that you have, but I would love to talk a little bit about what I do. So technology. It is our one source of staying together, okay? I am available for lessons. I used to do lessons all of the time, but then I just was consistently getting acting work and stage directing work that I just couldn't do lessons anymore. But now all of my gigs are canceled, and I was like, hey, this is the time now to get back to sharing like 6 years of drama school with my friends and the opera community, because like, why not, you know? So these are things that I could do for you if you are interested in taking the next step in your career of being a storyteller. 1, I would look at your rep sheets and choose monologues from either the classic canon or contemporary scripts that we tackle together. I will choose your rep and give it to you, because I have to say, choosing rep for monologues is completely different than for the opera room. For example, like when I go in to an audition, I know that 79,000 people will sing bati bati. Bati 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 bati. However, if that ever happened in a drama room, it would be horrific. Like, that's like our version of like the 12th night Viola's ring speech. I left no ring with her. What means this lady? Like, we would go nuts if we heard the same thing over and over and over and over again. And what I noticed, because a lot of people on Instagram, a lot of people have been posting some snippets from like self-tapes and whatnot, and them like trying out monologues. And like, something that I have noticed is a lot of people have been choosing things from film, which actually is like a huge no-no. It is like, if you walk in to like the room to do a straight play, and a lot of opera companies I see, because people have asked me, I need to do a monologue and I don't have any scripts. And I was like, I have, I think, 263 scripts in my bookshelves. So I have a ton of them. So people have come to me a lot. But a lot of people are choosing things from film, and that is like the ultimate no-no. And it's like a slap in the face to a lot of people who write plays and drama, because it's so easy to be like, that one monologue from NCIS in episode 950,000. Like, that's really easy. But to get a script and to learn a passage and to learn everything about it, it's next level. And it's something that I think that a lot of singers should have in their pocket. Another thing that I could offer, character breakdown over the course of a larger work. I would take you dramaturgically down the road of the character. I would learn everything there is about this character and teach you how to break down scene by scene by scene by scene based off of the history and the importance of this character within this opera. Their point of view, their reacting, their beat shifts, basically more verbiage that we have spent so much time in drama school. I would teach you basically for recits and whatnot, how to acting is reacting and how to react to your partner and give them gifts and all the while maintain honesty. And also aria breakdowns. If you were like, hey, here's my rep sheet, and everything that you have been talking about, crazily in this video, I would really love help with. So we can take anything on that sheet, any and everything on that sheet, and break down pre-circumstance. Who am I talking to? Can we try it 3 different ways how I would do this? I would facilitate that for you happily. And, you know, people joke that, like, I have, like, this little rep company and that, like, I work with a lot of the same folks all the time and write for the same folks all the time. But I need to tell you what every single one of them have in common. They do their homework. They come in to the rehearsal room with, like, what if we did this, and can I try this, and there's this thing that I've been thinking about, and, like, I would love to talk to you about this, can we try it first, or can we just walk it out? These are the type of people that make what we do a play. Remember, I always say this when we're staging. Remember, you got into this industry because you liked theater and you liked to play. So let's do all the hard work at home. And when you get into the rehearsal room and those staging rehearsals that y'all know and love, because I see it, when you come to staging and the rehearsal, you're like, oh my God, thank God we're doing staging. I see it. I appreciate it. Do the hard work at home and just bring in your spirit to play with and react and have fun, because that's what we're there for. Absolutely right. Like, homework shows. Can you hear me? Sorry, there was a pause. Felix, can you hear me? I'm like calling to the abyss out there. Can you guys hear me? Sorry, I didn't know if it was still paused. Oh, I have all these hearts. Yay. Okay, cool. Great. So it works. So basically, I want each and every one of you to have the work ethic and the confidence to be the people who get to play in the room. Okay? So, okay, hold on, I got a question. Can you speak a recit or an aria as a monologue? Oh, no, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, when I have coached singers before one-on-one, and we always do it as a monologue. Always. Because that's just how you can, it's all building blocks. So if you know how the text feels in your body, I'll do it in your mother tongue. So we do it in English, then we do it in the language, and then we build up to the music. You can't just start at the top and then expect all of it to be perfect. No, everything is foundation, mortar, stone, clay, building. And once you get that, it's all technique. Once you get those tools, you can do it on your own. But there are a ton of tools that I have in my kit that a lot of people, I don't know, they hoard, because a bunch of y'all say that there is no acting curriculum in where you guys are going to study. I hear it time and time and time again. And why am I hoarding information when I have it? I spent enough on school. Let me help you. Let me, it worked for me, and let me help you. Any other questions that I can answer? Because I'm just like noodling and I have like 10 minutes. Actually, probably have a teensy bit more because I had to restart the video. Sorry, I'm just waiting. I see all the hearts. Hi, guys. Singing means nothing without a story behind it. Thank God. Yeah, it really, really does. It, like, very, very much so does. Is there such a thing as too much research? Okay, this is kind of a double-edged sword question. I'm not gonna lie. Because I do believe that you could go down a damn rabbit hole with information. So I always suggest you need to Google and look up who are creating these articles that you are looking at. We live, unfortunately, in an era where there is way too much weird conspiracy theory. Bill Gates infected a bat because he wants to control the world, and there's children in tunnels screaming underneath the earth. Like, the internet is like a damn pig trough right now. So just Google like the people who are writing these articles, and like make sure that you have like the most valid information. And I say that not only because like we want obviously the most truthful things, but like if you read way too much stuff and start to see like contradicting things, it could kind of be damaging psychologically, and then you could put it onto the piece. So just really like make a master list of like all of the articles that you want to read about a particular piece, and then just Google the people that wrote them. Save yourself some time. Okay, hold on. Whitney says, talk about leaving the room too, and if you're dismissed early. Oh my god, Whitney, this is like a really, really important thing, actually. So I went into an audition one time, and there were 6 people behind the table, and they said that we had to have 3 different monologues and a song. Now, I don't sing. Okay. So I was like, not looking forward to that last part if I made it through. So there was, again, 6 people behind the table. And I did my first monologue, and I thought like I nailed it. And they were like, oh, okay, thank you, thank you. And this one woman said, I would like to hear another. And then another woman said, I've seen enough. And sat back. And I was like, wah, 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 wah. She hates me. And would you know that in that season, the woman who wanted to see more of me and the woman who did not want to see more of me, those were the 2 that cast me in their shows. And Benita, who worked on Bat Out of Hell on Broadway, she is like this incredible Australian chick that like I can't get enough of. She's awesome. Whitney, I actually think you know her. She was at one of your concerts. She had said to me, well, after I saw your hair and I saw that you could act in the first monologue, I didn't want to waste my time and hear anything more. So sometimes, like, when, like, we say, like, oh, we've heard enough, that doesn't mean, like, we hate you goodbye. It's like, we need to keep things rolling. We know that you're an automatic yes, get out of here. So we could go to the bathroom or have a snack. I'm telling you, we're human too. So please don't, like, go into your head about these things. There are some people that get automatically pushed through and we don't want to hear anything else. But then there's people that we're just dying to hear if there's like another side of you that we could hear and see. I'm so sorry. I'm scrolling up. What are your thoughts on Chekhov or other acting techniques? Okay, so Chekhov, to me, I just like, it goes completely against how I feel about the substitution method. Like, for Chekhov, like, you believe that you can experience anything, be it like killing an infant outside or experiencing childbirth, and you're a man. Like, they really think that like you just live by your craft and you do this. And like Dustin Hoffman has a fabulous quote about it, and it's called acting. Like, it's not called like doing weird crap outside and then emulating it on stage. Like, act. It's really, really cool. It was the quote was from when they were doing Marathon Man. So yeah, but I'm all about Uta Hagen, and I'm all about Lecoq. It's basically all movement based and how you manifest characters in your body. So again, write this down: Uta Hagen and Lecoq. They are the ones that I go by. How can people contact you if they want to coach with you? Okay, so a multitude of things. One, you can email me a song from BEA at gmail.com, or you can DM me on Instagram and then I'll take you to an email, whatever. We could chat on the phone, whatever. I understand we're all in like a really, really crappy like economic place right now. So all my rates are lowered. Like, I'm on your side. Like, just now's the time to like invest in yourself as healthily as you can. Because let's face it, yeah, we're not going into work, but we're also not spending $7 a day on Starbucks beverages. So keep that in mind. Sorry, I'm just like scrolling. How did you get into directing? Did you mentor with directors? Ooh, unpopular opinion alert. I got into directing because actually when I was 17 years old, I had already decided that I wanted to be a director, but everyone's like, you're crazy, you're an actor. Like, you are an actor. That combined with the perfect storm of back in 2008 when I graduated high school, there wasn't really any directing programs out there. Like, it wasn't just a thing that people did. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and become an actor. And that my love for and my yearning for the other end of the table never went away. But I never studied under anyone or with anyone. Like, I'm a reader, guys. I know that, like, you know, I can't stress that enough. Like, I make my own rubrics and I make my own, like, I don't know, my own syllabi, and I follow that. I Google and I look at who are the best directors in Britain, who are the best directors in Berlin, who are the best goddamn directors of all time in America, and I study them, and I study them until my eyes fall out, and then, you know, that's how I learn. I don't choose to put money into programs and get coffee for some idiot who I don't even know if he has a leg to stand on. Notice how I say he. Ooh, Freudian slip right there. Can you please share links where you read about from opera history and performances? We have no libraries here in India. Okay, 360 of opera, this is where maybe you could come in and facilitate this. I would happily make a condensed sheet of my notes and also different links and whatnot, and possibly they could post it on here. So this could be your hub of how to get to me and how to get to the information that I had mentioned on this little class. Guys, I think I'm really, like, run out. I want to answer one more. I think I have like 2 minutes to do it. How do you separate your character's emotions from your true personal emotions? Ooh, years and years of hard work. Again, just figuring out safety and control. So there are so many things that kind of have affected me emotionally during my life. I'm going to give you an example. So my mom is anorexic, and I had a monologue about a mother who wasn't well. It's from a play called Well by Lisa Cron, and it's her talking to her mother saying, I don't want to be you. I don't want to be a hypochondriac that sits in a fucking chair, and I don't want to be you. And I would go to really, really, I don't want to call them unhealthy places, but definitely very raw places, because there was quite a parallel there between the two. And it took me a long time on how to safely tap into that emotion, and do it in a way that I felt safe and I felt okay. So again, like, that's a conversation that, like, much like a vocal coach, you and your acting coach have. Like, say, like, hey, like, I'm going through this, and this is something that I bring to the table that's a little unsafe. How do we get there together? Cool. Oh my God, I have 1 minute remaining. The thing is flashing at me. Guys, thank you so much for all of these cool questions and for you sending the Technicolor hearts. It makes me so happy. Moral of the story is, feel free to contact me directly. My email, 360 will post that again, and I will get them all of my condensed notes from this. We're going to archive this conversation so you could watch it later. You could watch it next week. You could watch it next month. You could watch it with a bottle of wine. All of you guys are artists at the end of the day. You are not pawns in this very weird game that we all are playing. You are important. You are valuable. Eugenia just linked my personal Instagram at BE_Goodwin. Feel free to reach out to me. Seriously. Reduced rates on lessons if you are in a point in your life where you feel that you can embrace that. And let's make some stuff once this all is over. Cool? Mwah. Best to you guys. Take care.